jack and everybody gon' scream and shout. You see the man put the 9 to your head. Pop, pop! You could be dead.
Booyakasha! Welcome to my video. Congratulations on a wise purchase. If you was wondering where the money goes, let me explain. 12% goes on distribution. 8% goes on packaging. That fancy plastic cover don't come for free. 20% goes to Mr. Retailer. And the remaining 85% goes into this bag of skunk. Thank you very much for your contribution, Alison Redman from Ruislip in Middlesex. For most of you, this video is purely educationalist, and hopefully you will learn some serious stuff about life and thing, unless you was a proper monk. But for some of you ladies out there, you was using this for another purpose. If your man is left town for a couple of days, please do not feel shy to take this off the shelf, stick it in the recorder, and have a little fiddle in the downstairs department. I hope I can do for you what Britney Spears has done for me. However, if you was a boy and thinking of knocking one off to this, then think again. May I suggest you exchange this video for a Queer as Folk box set, also available from Channel 4 Video. So for the rest of you, free your mind and enjoy. First up, me met a geezer called Judge Pickles, who despite his name, ain't a DJ, but is actually a judge. West Side. Yo, what's up? I'm here checking out my main man, Judge Pickles. We're talking about the law. Now, law is something that you need to get down with if you don't want to go inside the nick. And it ain't boring, it don't need to let you stop you scoring. We're here to find out how it can be fun, but also know what's going on so you don't go down. Isn't that right, Judge Pickles?
I'm not sure it's fun.
Yeah, what is it then?
I did 40 years. I found it very boring on the whole.
Now, what is the Fifth Amendment? You getting me?
The Fifth Amendment, that's in America, that's an American thing, isn't it? It's not a British idea, is it, the Fifth Amendment?
When you say, I plead the Fifth Amendment...
Yeah, well, that's an American system. No.
Why not?
Well, because American law doesn't apply here.
Why not? What if it was a drink driving? If it was a drink driving charge, could you plead the Fifth Amendment?
You can never, in this country, the Fifth Amendment doesn't apply.
Never?
Not in court, no.
When can you murder someone?
When you say it, that's really a nonsensical question, if I may say so, because if you are entitled to kill somebody, it's not murder.
Okay, but can you murder someone if someone, let's say, call your mum a slag?
No.
Your mum?
No.
If they call your mum,
well,
if they call your mum a slag,
yeah,
you ring up the police. Police ain't gonna do nothing. You know, they laugh at you.
Well, I don't know. It depends, I suppose. If you called my mother a slag and I then killed you, provocation can reduce murder to manslaughter.
So where's the line there? If they call her a slag, manslaughter. If they call her a bitch,
well, no.
Is that murder? Okay, now you're a judge. How do you know when someone's guilty? Let's have this scenario. You got a guy there, 19-year-old, driving around in top-of-the-range Saab, all the lights and everything, leather seats, bitches in the front, bitches in the back, sitting on the woofer speakers, gold tooth, UV light underneath, big drum and bass coming out. The guy never done any work in his life. Is he a rapper or is he a dealer, considering he never touched any decks or held a mic ever in his life? Are you going to put this man down?
Well, I'm not going to do anything except accept the verdict of the jury.
Yeah, what, you think this man ain't a dealer?
Well,
come on, you got to put him down. Do you think women should be on juries?
Oh, yes, of course.
What about when they got the painters in?
Oh.
What about when it's rag week?
I'm sorry.
How can they be thinking straight? Serious.
Well,
serious. My woman, she doesn't know what's going on. Guilty. Everyone is guilty when it's her time. Everyone is guilty. I do something small. Guilty, you should be chopped, whatever.
I don't honestly think you could start asking people intimate questions and saying, oh, you can't do it this way.
Exactly, that's why you should not have women on the
No.
jury.
I've never thought about this before, actually.
You get wise, know what you're doing, and get legal. Alright? Big shout going out. My main man, big shout going out.
Selector. It was right down here when we first realized that Britain is like a lady's punani, because they is both made up of many parts. And if you was to keep the whole thing happy, you must pay proper attention to all of them. Which is why we went to check out Wales, which we like to think of as the of Britain, to help solve their problems. Check it. When you hear the word Wales, you probably think of the fish with the biggest dick in the ocean. But it is also the name of a country that is only 200 miles away from Britain. They is all banging on about a devolution. So I is come here to find out what it is and if I can help. West Side.
What does your boys want?
We want self-government for Wales.
So what happen if, Blair go mental or whatever and want to come and invade the Wales? What will you do?
We'd sing him away.
Check this, I is now going to a coal mine, which is a place where the Wales people used to live underground. Millions of years ago, miners lived in here before they became human beings.
No, they'd never lived within the mine. They only worked within the mine.
So what, people work under here?
Yeah, 30 to 40 people who work in here every day.
That is a crap job.
No, that's an important job.
So, what kind of animals is there down in the mines? Is it true that there was animals there that were like dogs with a head of an ant that could fly?
I haven't seen that. I'm sorry, no.
Was there squirrels there that was like 3 meters long that had eyes this big, couldn't see?
No, I haven't seen that. All I read about that. Follow me now and I'll just show you some photographs.
So why is it mainly brothers who is working down there?
Brothers?
Aye. Why is it mainly the black man? That's a bit racist, isn't it?
Oh, no, that's sweat and dirt, that is.
So
That's
why has he
hard
blacked
work.
himself up and pretend to be like a brother?
But he hasn't blacked himself up and he hasn't pretended to be, like you say, a brother.
Ali in the land of Wales, Ali in the land of Wales, boo!
Now the kids at this university might all sound like divs, but that is because they're speaking in the language of Wales. I is gonna go in there and learn some of this Welsh and see if I can try and prevent from getting covered in flop. Check me. What's this?
Helen, dwi.
What?
Helen, dwi. I'm Helen.
What?
I'm Helen.
Hello?
Helen,
Ali.
dwi.
Ali.
Dwi.
Ali.
Dwi. Say
No, Ali.
Yeah, but you say Ali, dwi.
Why do you say do and e?
That means I'm Ali. Not do an e. Dwi. Dwi.
Aye.
Helen, dwi.
Do and e? Ali do and e. We both do and e.
Pretend you're these people.
Ali do and e.
You could say Mr. Bean, dwi.
Mr. Bean do and e.
Yeah, Mr.
He
Bean.
never do and e.
Mr. Bean.
He's stiff, man.
Right, how about telling me you like different things, okay? You can use-
Wicked, I like.
We can use
Me
this.
like punani.
Hang on.
Me like
We're going to use this dwi again, okay? To say I like.
chicken.
So hang on.
Doody.
Dwi'n hoffi. You say hoffi?
What is that?
I like.
Hoffi?
Hoffi to like.
Like coffee.
Yeah? So you can say dwi'n hoffi.
I don't like coffee.
Oh, well, never mind. Tell me something you do like, yeah? So
Chicken.
dwi'n...
Me like the chicken.
So put that in front of it. Dwi'n hoffi.
Do eat chicken.
Dwi'n hoffi.
No. Chicken. I don't like coffee.
No, hoffi means to like. Yeah? Dwi'n hoffi. Dwi'n hoffi chicken.
No, I don't like coffee.
No, nothing to do with coffee. This is hoffi. Not coffee. Hoffi means to like, so I like Dwi'n hoffi.
Dwi chicken.
Dwi'n hoffi.
Dwi hoffi. Dwi chicken.
Yeah, what do you like to drink?
No. Dwi
Hoffi.
Dwi Coke.
Dwi'n hoffi Coke.
Alright.
Yeah, dwi'n hoffi
Coke.
Coke.
No Coke.
Dwi'n hoffi Coke. What do you like on television?
Dwi Jerry Springer.
Dwi'n
I don't like.
Dwi'n
No. I
hoffi.
told you I don't like coffee.
means to like. I like Jerry Springer. Dwi'n hoffi Jerry Springer.
Dwi'n-
Coffee?
So why do you make it sound like coffee?
It's the Welsh word for to like. Dwi'n hoffi Jerry Springer.
Dwi hoffi the Springer in the batter shop. Cock.
Yeah, Coch.
Why do you call that cock?
Because that's a special letter we have in Welsh. That's different to English.
Alright.
Can you say that? That's it! It's exactly quote. Coch.
We've learned a lot about the whales today, but most important, let's increase the peace and keep it real. Take it away, boys. Hillside. In the Vale. We're singing. Come home to Wales. When you hear the words Clapham Common, Rasta and Batty Boy, you may well think of MP Ron Davies. But I has met him and he has told me that he was never there and that he lost his keys and thought maybe he could find them up a man's batty. Whatever. I went to natter to him about the Wales thing. This going out to the Cardiff Massive. Respect.
Check this, everyone. I be with none other than my main man Ron Davis, him be from the government, and he is gonna talk to us about the whales. Wicked?
Good.
Nice, respect. So what is so good about Wales? Because with no disrespect, me heard it's crap.
Well, it's a beautiful country.
Aye.
We've got lovely scenery, we've got mountains and coasts and beaches.
For them people out there, what they don't understand is why is you lot blowing up the Catholics?
We're not doing it. What we want to do is just to have, that's in Ireland.
Because where me come from Langley, near Berkshire, there is the Eton Wick Massive that was a posse and they was part of the Berkshire Massive. And then they said they wanted to be the Eton Wick Massive. Is that what you lot is on about?
We just want to be together,
Wicked.
to take decisions for ourselves, to look after each other
Aye.
and to respect each other.
What is the language called?
The language is called Welsh. Or in
No, it's called
Cymraeg is
Dutch.
the
Dutch? Welsh is the language.
Welsh is the language, yeah.
And can you speak a bit?
Of course, yes.
Come on.
If I met you in the morning, I would say, Bore da, shwre ti? Good morning, how are you?
That ain't the real thing.
It is the real thing.
That ain't the real
And
language.
you would say to me, Bore da, da iawn, diolch, shwre ti? I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
That ain't the real.
It's a very good language. It's the oldest language in Britain.
It's funny, what? The things that you said there, I bet you was calling my mum a slag or something.
No, I was just saying good morning. In Wales, we're all very polite.
But when you start speaking with all that, you know,
To
funny,
someone
man.
who speaks Welsh, it's a good accent.
So, is you a rich country?
No, we're not a rich country. Maggie Thatcher closed all the coal mines.
Aye,
and
she
we've
was
got-
a bitch.
She was worse than that.
Aye,
And we've
she
got
was a slug.
Yeah, we've got big unemployment
Aye.
in Wales and a lot of poverty.
Do you think that they should do nuclear testing? in Wales? But you can earn a lot of money if you say we will test nuclear bombs
Yeah.
in North Wales.
Yeah, but it's not very good for the people who live there, and it's not very good for the environment.
For real, but if they was getting all a couple hundred quid a head, I bet they would.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
So was Di Princess of Wales?
Yep, she was. Yep.
So I bet you was well upset when she got.
Yeah, that's right. And she was very, very much loved in Wales.
So do you think it was Elizabeth that die so she could get whales as well.
No.
But you don't think it was like a woman thing that she was jealous that Di was at the Welsh Massive and she wanted that too, so
No, I don't think
get
so.
out of there.
I don't think so.
It's time for people out there to start using this, to stop doing this.
Yeah.
And then they will start feeling this. And other things too.
Good.
Respect.
Right.
Big up yourself.
Great.
And keep it real.
Jungle is pussy, aight? Now, you is never too old to learn how to handle yourself in the ghetto. That is why I run workshops in gang culture here at the Aubrey House residential home in Guildford every Wednesday. Now, Heather, tell me, what is the 3 biggest dangers on the street today?
Uzi, drive, by and crack.
Respect. Now, to learn more about new education method, we went to check out my main man, Sir Rod Boyson, one-time Minister of Education. Check it. Now, the AK-47 is a manual loading semi-automatic piece of weaponry that, if used right, can fire up to 40 rounds per minute. Ethel? The AK-47.
I don't know anything. Don't ask me today. I'm too worried.
Okay, don't be worried. It is not loaded. Listen here, I has got none other than my main man, Sir Rhodes Boyson, in the house, because we is talking about the education thing. Let's talk about the discipline. Do you think, Sir Rhodes, there is enough discipline in school?
I think there's slightly less than there should be.
Do you believe kids should be caned?
I do. I have.
You
caned them
do?
through. I do.
Wicked, man.
I am.
You believe kids should be caned even in school?
Even in school.
Do you not think, Sir Rhodes, if you get caned in school, you can't concentrate as well? Because a lot of people out there say that if you're getting caned.
Well, I was caned in a time when I've concentrated all my life.
You
So
were
that-
caned. Respect, man.
From that, it's the
Respect.
from there. Yeah. So I mean, it was it. I mean, it shouldn't be done evil, and it shouldn't be done badly. But
You've got to have good stuff.
you have to have rules in life.
You have to have good cane.
You have to have a good cane.
Do you think sex education should be taught in the school?
No.
Why not?
I think that is the job of the family.
Do you think porn stars should teach sex education in
No.
the school? Why not?
Because I do not respect porn stars, as you say.
But they has more boning experience than anyone
Okay,
else.
but it's not the experience that I want for our country.
But someone who has had a forehead or whatever will know how to cope with any situation.
Well, some of these situations I wouldn't put myself in for the beginning.
For real, me feeling that, Sir Rhodes. Me feeling that so strong. Let's talk about the teaching methods. Do you not think, Sir Rhodes, it is time for a new teaching method?
No, human nature hasn't changed since the Garden of Eden.
What about rap? Do you think rap should be used in school?
I don't know what rap is, but...
Rap is like, you know, me checking it, me rocking it, me feeling it, me rocking it. Boyson in the house, make it feel it like a mouse.
Well, it's rather nice, is that? Well, but it's... I think that's for the schoolyard.
So, what about the math? What do you reckon about the math? Do you rate the math, or do you rock the math?
The maths.
The math. The math.
What's the math?
You know, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Very good.
But why don't they teach proper math in school?
What do you mean by proper maths?
Why do they teach in kilos and grams when you should really deal in ounces, quarter of ounces, eighth of ounces? You know, all my work is in ounces. Why
Well-
don't they modernize and teach in ounces?
I prefer the old ones.
Aye.
As being a traditionalist, I would have the old things back again.
Wicked. And you need to know about quarter of ounces, eighth of ounces, all that kind of thing.
Well,
A lot of
particularly
my work is
if
to do
you're
with
doing baking or anything of that
Aye,
kind, you'll have to
baking,
get that.
for real.
For real.
Whatever
I
you
make
call
my
it.
own breakfast every day.
I make me own breakfast.
Very good.
So, I mean, whoever bought a kilo of anything, you know, apart from my mate Dave, and he's down for a 14-year sketch. You know what I mean? What is that useful for, the kilo?
I'm not certain that the kilo is of great one.
So, Rod, do you think there should be mixed schools?
I think there should be a choice for parents and the pupils themselves.
Do you not think, though, if you have mixed schools, all the boys will spend all their time chasing math and all the girls will spend all their time just preparing their math?
I think that if the school is running properly, if they're in well-controlled that school,
Right.
that it's right.
But me got an A+ in Punani, but me failed my exams. Because me was so into the chasing the bit of...
Well, you'll have to, but that's your fault. I think overall, single-sex schools work better than mixed schools.
But don't you think single-sex girls' schools, they just breed, you know, people who drink from the fairy cup?
Well, never having drunk from the fairy cup, I don't know what the liquor is in it.
You know, you know.
But,
you know, them girls that is drinking from the fairy cup, that like to eat from the bushy plate. You know what he's getting at?
Yes, I know what you're getting at.
So, Rhodes, will there always be education throughout the nation, stopping domination?
There'll always be some
in the
way.
station.
Yeah, there'll always be some method of one generation putting it in the work of the next generation.
Wicked. You is rocking. So Rhodes, boyson in the house. Booker. Wicked. You is the man. I wish you was my teacher with them years ago, and I wouldn't have turned out like this.
Flash. Check this out. According to the DSS, I live in 3 of the flats in this block, not to mention one in that old biddy zone we was in. But not everywhere is as beautiful as the Taplow House estate. Apparently, there's this well-minging place called the Countryside. So, me got in my motor and checked it out. Respect. Wicked, I has come out to the countryside because it ain't only animals that live here, there's also peoples too. And they have got issues that they is worried about and they is getting all minstrel about. So me is finding out what they is. Check this. When you is in the countryside, it is important to wear the right clobber so you don't look like a prick. That is why me is wearing wellies. Your name is?
Terry Fogel.
Is, you know? And he's going to take us around this farm. Let's check out a few of the animals.
There's one out here you won't come out in the field with.
All right. What the fuck is that, man? Check out that mother. And what are these things here?
Sheep.
They are called sheep?
Yep.
Man, there's a lot of shit here, man. Why don't you clean up? Have a look down here. What is going on there? Oh, come on, man. Hey, don't try any of that funny business. You dirty boy. I'm going to tell the farmer that you touch that. What do you use chickens for?
They lay eggs.
What do you mean they lay eggs?
They lay eggs like you would have for your breakfast.
What? Eggs come out of chicken?
Yeah.
Where do they come out of?
The backside.
They come out of their ass.
You haven't lived, have you?
They wouldn't even eat something that came out of my Julie's
Where
ass.
did you come out
Me came out of my mum's punani. But not out of her body. That is right, man. Me ain't ever eaten another egg.
I'll in the countryside, I'll in the countryside. I'll in the countryside, I'll in the countryside.
Wicked. I is here in the countryside. I was checking out a hunt. This is where a group gather their posse, get some horses and shoot some animals. Wicked. These are dogs, eh?
These are the bitch pack.
But it is disrespectful to call a dog a bitch.
It is a terminology we use which is friendly. It is in no way disrespectful.
So you're not cussing these dogs when you call them bitches?
No.
You're not saying that they is a bit loose or whatever? Okay, and do you call your women the bitches as well?
No, ladies.
Wicked, me think me espied the fox, eh? So is you the fox?
No, I'm just here for a bit of fun.
Oh, you was very modest what saying that you ain't the fox. Is you the fox?
No.
No, me don't think so. We have learned to respect the ways of the countryside. It is a place of peace and tranquility. Let's keep it that way. Alright. This may look like a beautiful park full of flowers and thing. But one night last year, this was the scene of one of the most bloodiest battles that ever happened in this world, innit? I was here chilling with my posse, when from over there by the Starburger there was this sound of Spear Garage. It meant only one thing, that the East Ends Massive was on their way over. Anyways, their boss man Hassan Big comes up to me and he says that my mum had been sucking him off. So I give him a 1-inch punch like Bruce Lee, and I swear I would have killed him if it was 1 millimeter to the left. But it ain't just Staines where there's war happening. There's other places too, which is why I checked out Major General Ken Perkins, who is only the most highly decorated soldier in the British Army, innit? Check it. Wicked. I'm here to talk about the military. I got with me my main man, Major General Ken Perkins. Now, he's seen a lot of action in Korea, in Malaysia, in World War II, so he knows his stuff and he knows where he's at. Now, the army is important, isn't it?
Yes, it's the mainstay of civilization as we know it, I think, probably.
So, is it difficult to get in the army?
No, you need to be physically fit, you need to be mentally alert.
So it's not just for people who are a bit thick, who don't have
Absolutely not. If you're a bit thick, you won't get in.
What about the SOS? They is wicked, no?
They're very important, yes, yes.
They is the hardest.
They are the best soldiers in the world, probably, I would say, yeah. Yeah.
Now, is it hard to get in?
Extremely hard, yeah.
Does it help if you've already killed someone? Because I got a mate, Dave, and he's preparing to go in the army and he's got his own gun and he says he killed someone. I don't believe him, I think he's talking rubbish or whatever. What about batty men?
Batty men? You mean screwers?
No, you know. Batty men.
Ah, you mean gays?
Aye.
Well, there have been gays in the army for years. I mean, if you know, there isn't a problem unless you make a problem.
But a lot of the officers went to public school and, you know, there's a lot of gaylords there. Then they go into the army.
But they're certainly not gays, are they? Public schools are not a breeding ground for gays.
If you had a load of benders, wouldn't the other side be scared that they'd bum them?
The other side? Which other side?
That you was fighting.
War isn't like that. You don't have a real vision of what war is. I don't think.
So who did you fight for in World War II?
Who did I fight for? I was an artilleryman originally. I then.
And which side?
A British soldier.
Did you ever think about changing side?
No, God forbid.
But let's say me, you know, I was always with Man United or whatever. But when it became clear they weren't going to win the double, I went to the Arsenal. Whatever. When you thinking that the Jerry's was going to win, you didn't think maybe I'll go over to the Jerry's?
No, I never thought like that. No, of course not.
He was a special guy. So what is carpet bombing?
Carpet bombing is when a whole formation of bombers fly together and drop their bombs all at the same time to produce a carpet of bombs on the ground.
So why don't we do that on Northern Ireland?
Northern Ireland, do we?
Why not?
Well, they're British.
But they is causing all the trouble.
Well, it's only a small number of people in Northern Ireland causing the trouble. Most of the people are loyal citizens.
But how is you going to be sure that you getting everyone who's causing the trouble unless you do the carpet?
Well, why don't you lock up everybody in this country to make sure you lock up the criminals?
Enough respect. Major General Perkins in the house. He put a lot of years in to the country. Time that you at home started putting in a bit. This is a church
which is a place where religious people go each week to do prayers, sing hymns and get circumcised. I used to come here regular as a kid, mainly because there's a great place around the back to have a little smoke. And apparently the police can't get you because Jesus was a talker. I went to meet the Bishop of Horsham, who works for God and has even met Jah. Respect.
So, what does God look like?
Okay. Well, I think the best way I can say that is he is sort of Jesus-shaped. when you look
So
at
he got
Jesus,
a beard?
No, that's not what I mean. I'm talking about what's inside. It's not that he's got a beard. It's the sort of person Jesus was. Okay.
Is he a man or is he a woman?
Well, he's neither a man nor a woman. He's
Is
God.
he a
He's
like
God.
ladyboy?
He is a being.
So what has God ever done?
Well, he made the world. Okay. He created.
He made the world?
Okay, of course.
Did he?
Well, I can only tell you what I believe, man. I mean, I can't prove it to you. It's faith.
So you're saying God made the world?
That's what I believe, yeah.
And since then he's just chilled? So what about then the Virgin Mary? Was she really a virgin?
I believe that Mary was a virgin, yeah. She found that she was pregnant. And she asked the question, how can this be? I mean, I'm not surprised she said, how can this be?
But me know girls that also say, me find me pregnant. They find me pregnant, you know, what happened? And, you know, the mother will ever say, listen girl, you know, you've been mucking around. Well, maybe you was drunk, maybe something happened.
Okay, well...
Don't lie to me. So, do you do miracles?
Well, if I have, they would always have to be in the name of the Lord.
Aye.
Lindsay Owen, that's my name. I can't do miracles. God does miracles.
So can you do a miracle now?
Well, it depends what you mean. What do you mean? I mean,
a miracle.
What
like
I would not
saying.
do.
Can
What
you
I
do a miracle
what
now?
I would not do is test God. You know, one of the things the Bible says is don't test God.
Aye.
Don't say, hey, that chair could lift up in the air to test God.
But can you do that?
No, I can't. It would be a miracle if everybody treated each other like brothers, wouldn't it?
Respect, though some brothers fight. You know,
I know they do. But that would be a better miracle than this chair getting up and moving up and down. If everyone treated each other as brothers. Now, for me...
No, if this chair went up and down, that would be amazing. I just want to say big up. Big up yourself, Bishop.
Big up.
Me is here now in Laycroft Park. This path here is the dividing line between the West Stands Massive and the East Stands Massive. I would be risking my life if I trod over this line. There. Lives is been lost over who owns those swings over there. There is no easy solutions. So using my knowledge of the street, we went to check out Northern Ireland to help solve the problems between the Catholics and the Muslims. Hear me, boy. I lean enough island, goodbye now. I lean enough island, Check this. I is with my main woman, Sue Ramsey. She be a member of the Assembly of Sinn Féin. Now, Sinn Féin, what's the vibe?
Sinn Féin is a 32-county party. Our main aim is the reunification of Ireland.
And what is the language that they speak here?
We speak Gaelic here.
Gaelic?
Gaelic, yeah.
What is that, like a Bati language or something? Like, what is the real name for it? What is the? It's called Irish.
Irish, yes.
So then, when they're cussing it, they say it's like a gay man.
Gaelic means Irish in Irish.
Aye.
Gaelic
because
equals
in
Irish.
English, gay means a man who sleeps with another man, and the lick is like, you know, is maybe the cause of the problem that they say that. And maybe it's a stereotype or whatever, but they say the Irish is always up for the crack or whatever. Is that a problem because the crack make you violent? Me know people from my estate, they go mental, and whenever there's someone around, they want to fight them, whatever.
No.
It's a bad drug.
No, crack in Ireland means having a good time.
Aye, for real. They ain't all fun. It's also bad stuff as well. There's a high, but after you finish it, there's a low.
Crack in Ireland doesn't mean drugs.
Ali in Ireland, Ali in Northern Ireland, Ali in Ireland.
Wicked is with none other than my main man, the Lord Mayor of Ireland, David Alderrice, and we is having a cup of tea.
Hello, Alec. You're very welcome to Belfast.
I don't know what's going on here. Why is there all the fighting?
There are people in Northern Ireland who wish to be part of a united Ireland.
For real.
And then there are people living in Northern Ireland who wish to remain part of the United Kingdom.
And where does Wogan stand?
Who, sorry?
Wogan.
Terry Wogan.
Terry Wogan.
Terry Wogan. I have no idea what his political stance is.
But was he not in the IRA?
Terry Wogan? No, he wasn't.
I is here now with my main man, Sammy Wilson, in be from the DUP, that mean the Democrat Party or something. So is you Irish?
No, I'm British.
So is you here on holiday?
No, Northern Ireland has always been part of Britain.
So why is everyone cussing the RAC?
Well, I don't think the RUC, the Royal Ulster.
The RAC people is, everyone today is saying the RAC, they've chucked stones at them and whatever. And it ain't their fault if they don't come, you know, in time or whatever.
Not everyone is doing that. I mean, I think that's the first thing. The vast majority of people in Northern Ireland actually use the police for their own protection.
But why is they using a breakdown service as police? That to me sounds like the most stupid thing. No wonder there is fighting here or whatever if they're doing that.
You see, I think you've got a mistake. It's the RUC.
Which is the biggest city in Ireland?
Which is the biggest city in Ireland?
Dublin, because it keeps on doubling and doubling in size. Have you got any jokes?
Well, there's a joke that's often told about Ian Paisley. And
that he is on crack.
He was swimming across the.
Is he on crack?
No, he's not. But he was faced with a river infested with crocodiles. And before he got in, he got this T-shirt with "I love the Pope" written on the back of it. And he swam across, and he got right away to the other side. And they asked, "How did you get so far without the crocodiles getting?" And he says, "The crocodiles would never swallow that." I love the Pope, the crocodiles would never swallow that.
Is the Pope a Catholic?
Ali in Ireland, Ali in Northern Ireland, Ali in Ireland, Ali in Northern Ireland. Boom!
Booyakasha. Check this. I was with George Patton. He be the chief executive of the Grand Orange Lodge of Ireland. Wicked. So let's talk about this march. What is this march that everyone banging on about?
Yeah, that's a good question. Because we don't see the fuss sometimes.
Do you have music at this march?
Oh yeah, lots of music.
Oh real?
The whole works.
Do you have drums?
We have drums, yep.
And is you like knocking out a drum and bass thing, or is it more kind of speed garage that you was knocking out?
It's both. It's all there. Different drummers have their own rhythms. It's an individual thing.
Do you not think though, me not giving advice, but me saying from my own experience, sometimes it's good to back up the drums with a bit of human beatbox?
Yeah.
You not think that would be good?
Yes, of course it would.
But if someone was doing the, you know, people could chill from both sides and get into that.
I hope that the people could.
Ali in Ireland, Ali in Northern Ireland.
Would you ever marry a Protestant girl?
I have, yeah.
Well, that is a gesture, no? That is a long way to get in the peace.
Yeah, but I'm a Protestant as well.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So, but if you weren't married to her, would you marry a Catholic girl then?
Possibly because of my faith, I wouldn't.
What if she was really fit, though?
Because my religion is so important to me, that's going to be the overriding factor.
But what if she had her own car? She had a, you know, sound system, whatever. She wasn't going to be stealing money from you, whatever. Would you go with her then?
I think that, you know, I am friends with Roman Catholics and I have Roman Catholic friends.
But would you get jiggy with them?
Yeah, I think that whenever it comes to that, my religion is the most important thing to me.
Even if they was really, really fit?
Yep. Yep, that's the bottom line.
Alien Island, alien Northern Ireland, boom! Respect. Keep it real, keep it safe. Increase the peace. Nice.
Cheers.
When we got back from Ireland, my nan said to me, Ali, you must have bowls the size of oranges. And I said, you know, Nan, I do. But luckily, me know a lot of women who love the taste of orange juice. Aight? When the 11 o'clock show told me that I was gonna interview an expert on women, I said, listen, I don't want to stand in front of the mirror for half an hour. But then they told me that I was meeting Professor Solis, who is head of gender studies. Check this. Booyakasha! Check this. Today we is talking about women. I is with none other than Professor Sue Lees. She be director of the Center for Gender Research. And we is going to be talking about ladies. Now, 1 in 2 people in the country is a woman. So it's about time you've got to know about them. Women, they're as important, aren't they?
They indeed are. Very important. As important as men.
Which is better, man or woman?
Well, equality is not about being better.
But which one is better?
Well, I don't think either is better.
But one must be a little bit better.
In what respect?
Like, you know, in the way that something is worse and something is better. Do you think there will ever be a female prime minister?
Well, there has been one.
When?
Margaret Thatcher.
No, she weren't prime minister.
Yes.
She was the defense minister.
No, she was prime minister.
Do you think another woman will be allowed to slip through?
I mean, the real question is whether there'll be a president of the United States who is a woman.
Do you think a woman should be able to have any job?
I do, yes. I think they should be able to have any job.
Would you feel safe, though, if you knew a woman was flying your plane?
Why wouldn't you feel safe if a woman was flying it? Do you feel safe being driven by a woman?
No. But would you not be scared that she would start nattering or thinking about things and then forget to fly the plane or get angry and suddenly...
But that's incredible prejudice, you know. Because there's no evidence that women are just as reliable workers as men are.
A lot of boys we know is trying to get their girlfriends into feminism. Do you think that is right?
Yeah, I do. I think it's a good thing.
Do you think all girls should try feminism at least once?
Well, girls today often don't recognise how much they've benefited from feminism.
But do you think it is right when they try feminism when they is drunk at a party or whatever with a few mates?
What does trying feminism
You
mean?
know, try a bit of feminism and when they is sober the next day they get back together with their boyfriends.
I don't understand what you mean by get feminist.
When they kiss a woman.
What, being lesbian are you talking about? Sexually?
Aye, for
But
real.
that's not feminism is not about sex, having sex relationships with other women.
It ain't
That is
only
not
about
what
that.
well, it's not about it at all.
My uncle Jamal, he says he is trisexual.
Yeah.
He will try anything sexual. What does that mean?
There are a lot of people, you know, who would agree that they would like having sexual relationships with men and with women.
So you're saying that you think that he has done it with men?
Because he has.
Aye.
Well, it would suggest that from that. Or that he's interested in it. Don't know whether he would have done it. Depends what done it means.
So you think my uncle Jamal is
Oh, I don't know about
batty boy?
Boy, actually.
But you think my uncle Jamal like it in both pipes?
Well, I think he probably is making a joke.
For real. So it's probably a joke.
It's probably
It ain't necessarily. Because he is a joker.
Yes,
and
I think he's a joker.
If you called him that to his face, he'd probably kill you. We just want to say thank you, Professor Lees. Big up yourself.
Okay.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
very much.
Imagine a place where there is no laws, serious math, and the government actually buy you crack. Fantasy? No. This place exists in a country called Europe. And luckily, they want us to join them. Weirdly enough, there is some nutters out there, like this geezer Teddy Taylor, who don't want us to. Look at him. Wicked, we is here with Teddy Taylor, MP for Southport, and he is a Tory, and he is talking to us about Europe, because it's time we know about this Europe thing that we're hearing about every day. So who else is in Europe first off?
Well, the countries that are in Europe, for example, are countries like Spain, like Germany, like France, like Finland, and you'll find there's some countries, of course, that haven't joined. And the interesting thing is...
Most of them is crap countries, though.
Well, I don't know if they're crap countries. Some of them are very good countries.
Is Jamaica in Europe?
Jamaica's not there in the Commonwealth, and it's really
Is that
sad
not
because-
racialist, though, that they is not...
Well, no, they say basically the only countries that can join are European countries. An awful lot of the decisions are made in what's called horse trading. You support me in this one, and I'll support you in this one.
What do you mean, with horses?
No, horse trading, just basically, look, Ali, I want to get this thing, I don't want a Europlug. So will you vote with me to stop the Europlug, and I'll vote with you on something else?
And where do the horses come in?
The horse might be saying, no Europlug, and in exchange they'll say, well, we want more money for this, or more money for that, or more power for this.
So the horse... the horse is at a meeting? Where? So what about the pornos? Would that be still be legal in Amsterdam?
Well, it's going to be very difficult indeed, quite frankly, as the borders go down to try and accept a difference in policy.
So will I still be able to buy stuff with, you know, dogs and women or whatever in Amsterdam? Is that going to be illegal now?
Oh no, that's still, you'll still be able to do that. But the whole question is it going to have the same law for Europe?
So we could start getting pornos of that quality coming
if the European Council of Ministers decide that the same rules should apply throughout Europe.
Aren't there any good things about it though? Like I don't know, the ladies, like everyone knows we've got a lot of mingers here. And, you know, you get some Swedes, whatever, and because they is easier and less frigid than the English girls.
Southend and Sea is the place where the loveliest girls are.
May I have a look around, man?
I must say, it's the nicest place in the world, Southend.
If you want to join Europe, make sure you have a BRIAN, know what you is doing before you throw it all away. Big shout.
That long time ago.
Teddy T.
Well done.
Respect. Langley cool. Art like this make the world more beautiful, which is why me went to chat with Lord Inlip, because he'd be an expert on it. That man did not stop laughing. It may have had something to do with him having a little talk from some Berkshire super skunk I accidentally had on me. Wicked, I is here with Lord Inlip. He be the head of Christie's and he knows everything about art and tin. Now, art ain't just something for ponces and people that is stiff. It is important for everyone. Ain't that right, Lord Inlip?
Absolutely right, yeah. Absolutely.
So is art more about drawing or is it more about colouring in?
Well, the old-fashioned idea was that you start with drawing. I think it's still not a bad way to start.
Alright. Who is the best artist in the world ever?
I've thought about that a great deal.
Alright.
And I haven't made up my mind yet.
Have you heard of Tony Hart?
Tony Hart.
Tony Hart.
Oh, him! Yeah, sure.
Do you think he is the best artist because he can do anything in any style?
He can do anything in any style, but he's not necessarily the best artist.
Have you heard of Rolf Harris?
Well, I was just going to say...
Do you think he is the best artist ever?
I think he's incredibly clever. I think he's brilliant.
He's amazing because you don't know what he is until at the end. He's a genius.
He's fantastic.
Who was the best impressionist?
I would always say that Manet was the best.
Who could he do?
He could do anything.
Could he do Wogan? Because that is the most difficult one.
Could he do walking?
Wogan, and which impressions could he do?
Oh, but don't get confused between impressions and impressionism.
So, what is the Turner Prize?
The Turner Prize is perfectly valid. It draws attention to contemporary things.
Who won it this year?
It was Chrysophili. He paints with elephant dung.
What? You what?
You asked me and I told you he paints with elephant dung.
Rubbish.
I used to rubbish, but that's what he uses.
Elephant dung like shite. And that is art. Me once did that with some dog stuff and we got a police caution. Me put it on my enemies. Me
Well, that
put,
was probably
smell this
art.
and you'll know what you is. I got police caution for that. This guy wouldn't fight. To be an artist, do you have to be a bit mental?
I think so, don't you?
Because
I hope so.
my teacher told me that Van Gogh chopped his knob off.
He chopped his knob off, he chopped his ear off.
What? He chopped his ear off?
He chopped his ear off,
Well, what did he do that for?
He got it.
So thank you very much, Lord Inlip. You have shown that art is fun and it is time that we will start knowing a bit about it and not just going, hey, that's for Batty Boys, but going out there, realising it and making it real. Hear this. This is the Centre of Culture in Staines, where you can see all the best films. For example, this is where me first saw Police Academy 6, Mission to Moscow. But there is more out there than just the ABC, so check out my guide to culture. Here it is. Every day, zillions of squid is being spent on culture for posh people, many of whom is professional gaylords. I'm talking about opera, ballet, and all the other shit you see on Channel 4. Is this money being wasted? Should it be spent on the hospitals or making sure that there is good quality crack on the streets? I's come to find out. Rock it! Ali in the culture, put it by now. Ali in the art gallery, Ali in the art gallery. Big up yourself, Ali.
Ernst England. Good to meet you.
Respect. Okay, all right, well, let's get them out of the way. Sorry, can you get out of the way? Sorry, can you get out of the way? All right, we'll just be with the telly. Yeah, but... sorry, we didn't... Sorry.
Yes, can you get out of the way?
Sorry, sorry. Who be this cheeky little lady?
So this is by Paul Gauguin, so the friend of Van Gogh, who's good.
That's nice.
It's good.
She look as if she has just been...
I'm not sure. She doesn't look that happy, I don't think.
Maybe she's been taken up the wrong end or something. What is that?
That's part of the door and
Oh, come off it. That's meant to be a door.
It's meant to be flat, you see. That's why it's so new, because it isn't
That's
meant
rubbish.
to have 3 dimensions.
The door is rubbish. I mean, the face is quite good, but that is...
It's just a suggestion of a door. Yeah.
But why couldn't he be asked to do the whole door? Look at me, now I'm going to meet Jerry Robinson. He'd be the head of Granada and also the head of the Arts Council. Why is the art so, excuse me, French, but crap?
I think art is, there's a huge variety of excellent art in England.
Do you just give money to things that Ponces go and see?
I think we spread the money pretty evenly across the whole piece.
Do you give money to lesers to teach kids how to do it? To teach kids how to...
lesbians?
Aye.
No, well, not that I'm aware of.
Because we saw this thing on Channel 4, this guy drink like a pint of paint or whatever, and then, excuse me French, he shit it out his exit. That can't cost that much. Was that the Arts Council that did that?
Ali in your brows, what about now? Me meet some pawns.
Look at this. This is the Royal Opera House. It looked rubbish, don't it? That's why they're spending over 25 billion squid to make it look more like the John Nike Leisure Centre in Bracknell. So what kind of skill do you need to be an opera singer? Do you have to be able to sing?
Yes, that's the primary requirement.
Is that not racialist? Because it's unfair on people who can't sing. So how many singers do you get up there?
It depends on the individual production.
With full respect, why is so many of them
Older.
so terribly fat?
They're not all
Is
fat.
it because you is trying to stop discrimination, so you let in a lot of the fatties? So what is the acoustic like?
It's brilliant.
Wicked.
If you're sitting up there, you can hear as well as if you're sitting down there. Try it.
Hear me now, ride the punani, ride the punani. Nice, good acoustic. So, if you want to check out some culture, you can either spend 50 quid on a ticket for a night at the opera, or we can get you a bag of skunk this big. The choice is yours. You got my mobile number, aye? What's up? Now, apparently it looked like this video is going to get a PG rating, which would mean me losing most of my respect in the hood. So, to get it an 18, I'm going to have to use a word which I has never used before, out of respect for me bitches, and which I swear I will never use again. Cunt. I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry. If you have to blame anyone for me using that, blame James Furman, because he is the geezer that gave this video its classification, and him is the head of the board of films things. So I went to check him out the other day. Look at this. Can you stop that banging, you cunt? I am on the telly. Wicked. I is here with none other than my main man James Furman. He is the geezer that signed his name under the films. Now, why do we have censorship?
Well, strange enough, most people in this country think there should be some kind of regulation of the media.
Aye. You must have seen some real dodgy things in your time, aye?
Yeah, a few dodgy things, yes.
Must be the best job in the world, though. Just watching porno all day.
I know. Well, you think you'd enjoy it, but you don't.
But you've seen 25 years of it. I mean, nobody can, keep it hard for that long.
Yeah. That's not the test I would apply.
Can you not say that a lot of porn is educational?
No, sex education is educational.
No, but me learned a lot of my stuff from, backdoor maidens or whatever. A lot of me tricks came out of that. You learn how to be with a lady, how to romance a lady.
Well, I think we try to. There's now some very good sex education on video.
It is important for kids to know what's going on down there, so they don't make a mistake and go up the wrong end.
I agree totally.
What films have been banned?
Very few films that you've heard of have been banned.
So why did they ban Chocolate Orange? Whatever.
Yeah. Well, nobody banned that except Stanley Kubrick, who made it.
Do you not think that the category 18 is too vague? Should you not have a category that guarantees you muff?
You do have consumer advice now. If you buy a video, you'll see on it exactly what it contains.
So why do they not have that for the films as well? This as swearing.
They have it.
This
they
would
have it
definitely
now.
have.
They have it now on films as well, but it's optional.
What swear words make an 18?
Well, 18, it's the sexual expletives. But
so is flange an 18 or 15?
I don't know what flange means.
So that is a word for the punani. So in other words, that can get. Well, that is what I'm saying. Okay,
you're coming up with a lot of words I've never heard before.
So there's a whole load of terms that mean the same thing as what we're saying, the twat or whatever, and they can slip in to a PG.
I suppose they can if we don't understand the word.
So do you not need somebody who's more street, who knows the terms on the street? So wait a minute. They said minge, me know that they're talking about the kitty. So what about the word vagina? Does that make it an 18?
No.
But that is the most dirty word.
Dirty, it's a part of anatomy.
No, but I make it sound horrible.
I don't think most people would think so.
For real, so what, that could get into a 15 film?
Yeah, it could get into a 12 film.
But so they can hear the word, the vagina?
Well, it depends how it's said, but I think you could
We want to check out your vagina or whatever. They can say that.
Well, if they call it the C word, which is the same thing.
Aye, for real. But the C word is better than the V word.
I don't think so.
The C word is much nicer. If you call a girl, say you got a nice C, that's much nicer than saying you got a nice V.
Well, you may think so. I think most women find the C word very, very objectionable.
Yeah, only women who is a bit, up their own C. Thank you very much, Mr. Furman. Big up yourself. Do you want to big up anyone out there? Any directors give a shout out or something like that?
No, just keep up the good work.
Okay, wicked. Thanks a lot. Easy now. This next one is with member of the upper classes, Jacob Rees-Mogg, who people say sound like he has plums in his mouth. I tell you, it don't sound like me Julie when she has me plums in her mouth, alright? Thank you. Check it out. Mind that one. Wicked! I is here with Lord Rees-Mogg and we is talking about class. Lord Mogg is going to tell us how we all can be upper class, can't we?
It's very kind of you to promote me to the nobility, but of course I'm not. My father is Lord Rees-Mogg and I'm just a commoner like everybody else.
So what is class?
What is class? Class is how other people perceive individuals to be.
Which class is Packies in? Packies.
By which?
Which class? Is they in middle class, upper class?
You're saying Pakistanis living in England. They're not in a class by nature of where they've come from.
What do you think makes a girl upper class?
Well, exactly the same thing that makes a man upper class.
But is it things like she spits into her hanky?
I don't think spitting into one's handkerchief is widely regarded as a symbol of membership of the upper class.
What if someone is so rich they have a swimming pool? Would they be in the upper class?
No, I think there's a bizarre definition of class.
What if they had a swimming pool made of gold but filled with champagne and not the cheap stuff? Then would they be in the upper class?
What if, like Cleopatra, they bathed in ass's milk?
In what?
Ass's milk.
Ass milk? Butty milk?
Asses.
From your...
No. Donkeys.
All right. So what if I knobbed the daughter of a lord?
Yes. What if you did?
If she got a bun in the oven, what class would the little nipper be?
Would so much depend on the circumstances, depend on the girl in question, and so on and so forth.
So what if you got busy with my sister? You advise it, because she ain't the cleanest girl out there.
I haven't had the pleasure of meeting my sister.
Well, it can be arranged. She'll be keen.
I've been speculating on my having a relationship with somebody I've never met, and that leading to a child being born, and then as to what class it might be, is so far-fetched as to be ridiculous. I have no idea.
What, you
about
think
this.
you was too good for my sister?
I certainly not.
You is.
No,
you is though. She's rank. She's nothing. No, believe me. Even my mum cuss her, tell her she's a slut. Would I be upper class if I got a top hat and wore it?
Well, would you like to try? I have a top hat. I can lend it to you for the next few minutes of this interview, if you'd like.
So am I upper class now?
Absolutely. You're a dead ringer for Lord Snooty.
Thank you, Jacob Rees-Mogg. You have shown that class is interesting and we should know about it, but not get stuck in it if we is gonna get ahead. Wicked.
Thank you very much.
Keep it real, Jacob.
Thank you.
Aye and aye.
Goodbye.
And come and visit us at the Staines Massive.
It's a pleasure.
This is a hospital, innit? I has been here twice. Once when me was born, and then after a drive-by, when we had both me tonsils removed. I's fine now, thank you, but I couldn't do human beatbox for a whole year. So this is my guide to the alternative health service. Respect. Booyakasha. There is many diseases that people suffer from in Britain. Flu, tuberculosis, itchy balls. But how is they gonna get better? Sure, spliff can cure most disease like leukemia and measles, but it can't cure everything. That is why I is coming to check out the health service and alternative health. Innit? Ali in the health service, Ali in the health service. Go! Ali in the health service, Ali in the health service. What about now?
Recently, me been spunking off a bit too soon, so me has come to a Reiki healer, see if she can sort out me knob. what you was doing now, helping me problem.
I've already done whatever I needed to do.
Would it give me a few more minutes?
Probably, but that's also up to you.
If me knock one off before, would it also help? You feel a little bit like being mashed, and there is energy around my body. There's a bit in my feet, there's a bit on my knees, and if you don't mind me saying, there's a bit around my exit hole. You feel a bit of wind now, is that right?
Yeah, very often when I give Reiki to people, you know.
They let one rip.
Yeah, it happens. It's just energy moving.
So when me Julie complain, I should just say it's the energy moving.
So just feel this.
Ooh, hey, hello, watch it. I've been told that I has healing hands.
That's wonderful.
Because I can make some girls have one that has never, had one before.
Well, you're a lucky man, aren't you? Touch is the most healing thing in the
For
world.
real. But is it not technique more than... I don't know whether, when they say that, whether it's just because, I know a few tricks, whatever.
It's your energy, isn't it?
Or is it because
just
I was
who you
giving
are.
the vibe
Yeah,
to the banana?
it's exactly that.
Alinea of service, alinea of service, boom! Alinea of service, alinea of service. What about now?
We're now going to check out a bit of Western medicine. Luckily, we speak a little bit of Chinese. Wiki. What's so good about the Chinaman medicine?
中医有什么好处？
中医Chinese
就是
medicine.
中医是中国劳动人民经过多年。
Alright. So can you check me?
他让你
Can you check me?
Okay.
You need to say the tongue.
My tongue's a bit dirty because I had a little to do with my Julie this morning, but we want to check it. What's who poo? Is that real poo?
This one is
So what,
good
these
for-
you just go around, collect some poo,
Yeah.
and you stick it in here and you sell it. Do you think that's right?
This one is good for skin.
Is that hash? Is that like, can you smoke this?
No, of course not.
Okay, should we go and get a bit of the needle? Should we go and stick some needle?
Okay.
Cool. Is it true that you can kill someone just by pressing there? You can kill them. You can kill them if someone really annoying you.
他说是不是按这个穴位合谷
You kill
可
them.
以把人给杀死掉？
不会。
Are you sure about this? Oh, fucking hell, man. You know what it's doing?
Yeah.
Has he
Of
done
course,
this
what do you
before?
think? Of course.
Is that meant to be getting hard?
应该
Getting hard.
hurt.
Aye.
No, it's not.
Alinea of service, alinea of service. What about now?
So, if you is feeling dodgy, you can either go to the health service or we can sort you out with an herbal remedy. Alright? As you can see, I ain't just a DJ. I can also swim. This is me 50 meters. This is me Kellogg's Water Skills 1. And this me got for rescuing a rubber brick from the bottom of the pool in me pyjamas. Yes, they were ill figure. The only reason I dived down there was me mate Dave told me it was a massive block of ash. When we got out, we was well pissed off, but I smoked it anyway. Now, if I drop this spliff on the floor, which I won't, because A, it will get soggy, and B, I may get a verruca in my mouth, it will fall downwards toward the ground because of something that lives in the air called science. To find out more about this, I went to check out the original nutty professor, Heinz Wolf. Check it. Check this. Today we're talking about science. We got none other than my main man, Professor Heinz Wolf, in Brunei University, checking out.
Brunei is a place in Southeast Asia.
Brunel University. We're talking about science. Now, science is important, isn't it, Professor?
Yes, it's very important.
What is the smallest thing in the universe?
The smallest thing in the universe are, I should think, some of the elementary particles which make up an atom.
How small is they?
Well, how small? I mean, how you mean in sort of?
Yeah, in centimeters.
There is 10,000 millionths of a millimeter.
Is it smaller than a sand? Is it smaller than a salt?
Yes, much smaller.
Sand is smaller than a salt?
No, not necessarily. I mean, you can get sand grains.
But salt is the smallest thing known to man.
Your hair.
Flour.
If you had any. Flour is...
Flour is smaller, is the smallest thing. I got muddled up.
It's much, much tinier than sand.
Now, what about medicine? How is science involved in the medicine?
Medicine is increasingly based on scientific discoveries.
What about knob enlargements?
If I understand you correctly, and I have to sort of do a mental bit of translation about the rather crude language which you employ.
Do they work?
I don't know. It's not a subject which I have ever worked, been interested in, or require.
Right, I would never need one, but if you needed one,
congratulations. No. I can well imagine being a sympathetic sort of guy that if it bears down heavily on somebody's mind, that they believe themselves to be insufficient in that department.
Not me.
Yeah, all right, I suppose. Then I can say that they may well want it.
What does infinity mean?
Infinity means that if you are traveling by any means, whether it's Concorde or sitting on a beam of light, you'd never come to the end.
Is it a number?
No.
Is it more or less than a million?
More. Because you can always add one onto the end.
Okay, I'll add a million on the end.
There is no edge. Because by definition...
Even if I carry on saying that all day, what happens if I use zillion?
Still have no idea. Because
killion?
No idea. Because
there isn't anything bigger than a killion.
The principle is that whatever number you try to think of, however big it is, I can always come along and say, I've got a number which is one bigger.
And that number is infinity?
No.
Return of the Mac. This next one is with James Whittaker about the royalty. He's a very nice man and gave me a cup of tea. Check it. Terrible shame about Diana.
Wicked. I is here with none other than James Whittaker. He is a close friend of all the royals. He is the expert in the country about the royal family and about the monarchy. So he is going to hear and tell us why it is all so important. Do you think there is too much press attention on the royals?
Sometimes, yes, I do think so. I think that the pressure on Diana in the last few months, actually the last few years of her life, was too much.
Do you think it was Saddam Hussein had something to do with her death?
I don't think anybody. I think the only person who had anything to do with the death was the driver, Henri Paul, who was drunk.
But me heard that the Queen wanted to make sure that Saddam was cool in Iraq because they had oil in Iran and they wanted to make sure that there was planes there. Do you not think that is why she died?
I don't think her death had anything to do with Iraq or Iran or Saddam Hussein or anybody at all.
Why was she not being that Pakistani?
He wasn't a Pakistani for starters, he's an Egyptian. She fell in love, in lust with him, and she had a summer romance.
Will Carmela ever be queen?
Carmela?
Carmela.
I think she will.
Do you think that a lot of the objection to Carmela is because she is so minging? So what? So minging because she is so rank. She's so, her face is very ugly.
That's a cruel word.
No, that's
Ali,
a cool word. No, we don't want to say that. Not ugly. No, we didn't want to say that. She's rank. She's rank.
Yeah, look, most women in this country would have a hell of a job.
Dodgy.
Well, no, being compared to Diana, who was a very good-looking woman,
no, she was
very tasty. So you put anybody up against Diana and it's a wee bit of a problem. She's also a very fit woman. She rides well.
She ain't fit, man.
No, this is a woman who understands Prince Charles well. She satisfies
But she looked like
him.
Rod Hull. She does, man. What do you think about Fergie?
I think she's a decent person.
Did they not find pictures of her sucking someone's knob or something?
No, they didn't find pictures of that. In fact, I was present at this. You're talking about sucking somebody's toe, or having her toes sucked.
Aye, but they used the word
Johnny
toe.
Bryan.
They used the word
financial
toe.
guy. No, I was watched this. Naughty.
How do you know if someone is a real king?
Well, I mean, you know from their position and what they do and how they behave.
So what about King Dong? Is he a real king?
I don't know who King Dong is, so I couldn't comment on that.
Thank you very much, James
Thank you,
Whittaker.
Annie.
And it is time that you at home start knowing about the monarchy, start knowing about the Queen, because she is in control of the country. Check it out. Big up yourself, Mr. Whittaker.
Thank you.
Forget Paris or Milan. I find you can get the best designer clothes from the Elmsey shopping centre off Staines High Street. There's got Alan Croft shoes, Etam, and even Rambelos. As if I needed to know anything else about fashion, I went to visit Tomasz Starzewski. Him be a designer like Tommy Hilfiger, except much less good. Check this.
Booyaka! Today we is talking about fashion because it ain't only on the streets, it is also in the shops. And I is here with none other than my main man Tomasz Starzewski, that be a main fashion designer. Now fashion, it well important, innit?
Yeah, it's important. We all like clothes, we all want to look good.
For real. Me respecting what you was wearing now, your threads, you're styling it, you're rocking. What is that made out of? Can I have a little?
Hair.
More hair?
Yeah.
More hair from the muff?
No, mohair is a type of wool that is woven.
Do you put your label all over the front?
No.
Do you put it just subtle down the side?
I only put it inside. I think it's vulgar to
Where
see
do you
a
put
label.
it?
Inside.
Why don't you put it on the front?
Because I think it's vulgar.
But if you put it on the outside, then you were selling the clothes and you was also advertising the clothes. You was knobbing two ladies with one Johnny.
It's not what I'm about.
Will you make clothes for any woman though?
If she likes my style, if she likes my look, I'm very happy to make clothes. I mean, I don't have a problem with that.
What, even if there is mingers, would you still make clothes for them?
So what?
Mingers, if they have, nice personality. Nice personality, face like a Rottweiler's ass.
I don't have that discrimination. I'd find that very offensive.
But if someone well minging came in here and say, design me, film and want to look nice.
I'd have to think, to me, if I can't fulfill that woman's fantasy of making her look better, I shouldn't be a designer.
But they'll bring a shame on your clothes if there is
it's
well
my
ranked.
challenge to make her look good.
So do you say to her, this is a big challenge because you got a face that really need to be covered?
Not at all. I wouldn't even. I think that's appalling to have to. I'd be appalled if I think like that. I think that's quite appalling.
Do you not sometimes say, though, there's nothing I can do for you? I cannot change nature. I cannot polish a turd.
Nature is irrelevant.
What about Versace? Do you rate him?
I think that Versace. I think that Gucci is the Versace of today.
Was you happy when he got?
No, because I think it's a tragedy for anyone to be murdered.
Aye, but there was less competition.
It has nothing to do with competition. I think that it's a great tragedy. I wouldn't wish that upon anybody.
Me heard it was Calvin Klein that did it. Is that true?
Highly unlikely.
So, what do you think about the Wonder Bra?
Changed a lot of women's lives.
Do you think it should be banned?
Whatever for?
Because you think you was getting something and then you don't get it.
But if you're stupid enough to think you're going to get it, it's your fault.
The other week though, me was in this club and me saw this girl and she, she had a bad face, whatever, but she had these serious Babylons, man, and me was grinding and me was doing the bogle, man, and me took her home, me unleashed them, and they disappear. They're gone. They're one on the floor, one behind the back. That ain't fair.
She's a good actor. You got to give it to her.
Well, me couldn't
You gotta give it to her that she pulled you.
Me did give it to her, but me didn't feel good about giving it to her. You know what I mean? Alright? Check it out. Buy your Stajewski. Start wearing the Stajewski. Start keeping it real and styling it. Big up yourself.
Thank you.
Nice. Booyaka, booyaka. Chungalis passé. This show is all about learning and thing. And I think this is when we went to school. At the Matthew School. I still have to keep my distance because there's a few detentions left unserved that they're trying to gun me down for. But education don't never stop, which is why me checked out my main man, MP Tony Benn, to ask him about politics and thing. Man, that guy likes a fight. Check this out. Wicked, I is here with none other than Tony Benn. He been in the political game for many, many years, so nobody knows it like he does. And he is going to explain what socialism is and what all the left stuff is going on. What is socialism, Tony?
Socialism is about organisation, it's about democracy.
So why do they call it the welfare state? Is it because it's welfare?
Well, the welfare state means that you've got a national insurance.
But unemployment benefit is wicked because you get money for doing nothing. Is that what socialism...
Yeah, why are you doing nothing if you've been sacked?
Because you're chilling. Well,
this idea that if you're unemployed, you're lazy is absolute rubbish.
We ain't saying that it's because you're lazy. We're saying you want to chill, whatever, you know.
What do you mean you want to chill?
You want to relax. You don't want to have to get up every morning at like 7 in the morning.
Do you think the miners decided to close the pits because they wanted to be lazy?
So do you think young mothers should get welfare?
Well, of course.
But does the welfare not just encourage young girls to go out and get jiggy with Mr. Biggie?
If you think girls get pregnant because they think they'll get benefit, I think you're living in a funny world.
For real. There's girls in my estate or whatever, they're 16, 17, they already got one kid, and they see something nice in the shops. They think, is me gonna go and get a job? Or is me gonna go and get welfare? Then me can sit on my batty and watch Vanessa or whatever.
No, come on, you're not living in the real world, my friend. You're living in a world where everybody's just so bloody greedy that there's no hope of building a better society, and that's why we're in a mess.
For real. Is calling a strike not a bit like calling a sickie? Like you had like a really banging weekend or whatever, and you was well knackered or whatever, you ring up and you just say,
if you go on strike,
you're gonna
you
have a
lose your
strike.
income. I mean, nobody wants to go on strike. After all,
if you was knackered or whatever, you had a really full-on weekend.
Blimey, if you think it's like a hangover...
You have a strike.
I mean, the miners were on strike for a year. They had no wages for a year. The women had to struggle.
But then they must have been well lazy if they did a whole year.
Look, they wanted work, and the government stopped them from having the right to work. So they gave up their income to fight for their jobs and their children's jobs.
But everyone going on about the right to work. What about the right not to work?
Well, that's different. If you don't want to work, then...
for real.
Well, I mean, that's just not true of most people, does it? Most people really want to work. You want to work, you wouldn't be here today.
No, me want to work when we want to work, but most of the time we want to chill, we want to hang with my bitches, whatever. We just want to relax.
Women with a great deal of disrespect. You call them a bitch as if you were a dog.
No, that ain't a term of disrespect.
Well, it is a term of disrespect. Just like animals, you're calling them animals. I think this really does come down, in the end, not to an argument about politics, but an argument between you. You've got no time for people. You think they're lazy, greedy, don't want to work. You call women bitches. And then you're asking me about a society that's happy. Well, I tell you, a society like that, somebody shoot you one day because you treat them like an animal.
So... why is it everyone is banging on about the right to vote?
Because we took us hundreds of years to get the right to vote, and we wouldn't have had the welfare state, we wouldn't have had full employment, wouldn't have had anything that matters if we hadn't had the right to vote.
But what's so good about it? I mean, I went once and it was rubbish. How is you meant to choose who you vote for when you ain't never heard any of the names? You just vote for the one with the most stupid name, Stinky Pinky Dinky or whatever.
Well, if you think people do that, you see, you haven't got much confidence in people.
But what me saying, Mr. Ben, is why don't they get people who people is heard of? Why don't they get like Frank Bruno standing or Van Eaton standing? The good thing about the celebrity means that you know what they is like. Otherwise, you get an MP and then you find out after a year that they is like, you know, sleeping with horses or whatever.
We just want to say thank you, Tony Benn.
No, it's been fun. I enjoyed it very much.
Maximum respect going out to my main man, Tony Benn.
Nice to see you.
Keep it real. Respect to the Ben. The environment has always been well important to me, innit? In fact, it was leaning against these very recycle bins that me first managed to born me Julie. So that is why I decided to do me bit to help out the tree protesters at Crystal Palace, West Side. Everybody is talking about the environment thing. What is they banging on about? I don't know. That is why it's come down to the tree protesting site to solve the problem of the environment and maybe to mash up some police. Ali's environment. Wicked, we're here at the HQ of the tree people. Gonna go in, help them out. For them people out there, what is they actually doing? Why is they here?
Because there's so little space, from what I can gather, there's so
Aye.
little space left in London, and they want to put a multi-storey cinema complex and a rooftop
wicked.
car park for 1,000 cars.
But is it going to be one of them new cinemas with all the air conditioning and the Dolby surround?
Well, I don't know, it will be a modern structure of some sort, but do we...
But they is wicked, no? Should they not build this one and knock down the crap ones and then build trees there? Me meet the tree, me meet the tree. Me meet the police, me meet the police. We're now going to meet the main copper, the guy who's sorting it all out. If it comes to Iraq, who do you think's going to win?
It isn't going to come to Iraq.
But if it does?
No, it's not going to come to Iraq. This is being dealt with as peacefully as possible.
Is it possible for us to get in?
Not at this stage, because it's still dangerous.
Is it because I's black?
Not at all.
Do you not think it's time for them protesters to start looking after themselves and protecting themselves properly?
Well, violence doesn't solve anything, does it? No?
Well, I don't know, it does.
It does, and it doesn't.
Yeah, but maybe it does.
Not really.
Come on.
You can't conquer nothing with violence, can you?
Well, you can.
In what? In what situation?
Well, in a violent one.
Are you one of the fairy folk? Who are the pixie people? Are you one of the fairy folk? Who are the pixie people? Are you one of the fairies? Do you like this planet? Do you want to see it go up in smoke?
Save the tree. Me save the tree. Me name Ali. Alright. Me has heard both sides of the argument. Me don't understand either of them. But me is well up for a rock anyway.
Boca, hear me now, anyone come on, easy now.
Give someone else space. This is serious, you wanker.
You can take our trees. You can take our trees, but you can't take our freedom. You can take our trees, but you can't take our freedom. Freedom! Come on! Hey. Can we not have a little go? Is it because I's black?
Thank you for watching my vid. I hope you has learned something. For those of you out there though that is thinking of bootlegging this vid and selling it down the market for 99 pence, then unlucky, because I has already thought of that and is doing it myself. So you can find me every Sunday afternoon at the car boot sale between the junction of Ashford Gardens and Layercroft Road. I hope to see you there. Peace out and respect. Let it rip, boys.
Wings and fire high. Take your wings and fire high. Take your wings and fire high. Wales. Wales. Cold. Hear me!